Believe it or not, the reason why I don't do winter overseeding is not biological, it's not physical, it's actually psychological. I'll explain it. This, my friends, is top secret. This is the only bag existent of the world of this product because we are developing it. I'll talk about it in a sec. Then we'll talk about overseeding. Top secret. This is what cereal rye looks like. It's not like normal ryegrass. It has a really, really rough seed to it. That just looks simply amazing right there. That's gorgeous. Ballpark, there's nothing exact out here, just so I can sort of remember. So if you hear that annoying noise, that is the irrigation pump running again because we're dry again. But we have, I look at my 10-day forecast. Let me pull it up real quick just to verify because it keeps changing. This coming Wednesday, we're going to have a low of, well, actually Tuesday rain and 34 degrees. Then it's going to drop down to 30 degrees, then 34 for a low, then 39 for a low, high in the 50s. So times are changing. This is the time of year that should, if you have a warm season grass, those kind of temperatures are going to put you into dormancy. So that's going to basically shut down your lawn. And that's when a lot of people start to think about overseeding. I'll tell you why I don't overseed on a Bermuda lawn, like a sod lawn, why I don't do it. And then talk, if you are going to do it, what are some options? So first, let me address the elephant in the room. You'll see, I'm going to cut this with the reel mower here in a little bit, but you'll see some yellow flags here. I've got a 3x3 square and then a 3x3 square. I've got my scales out. I'm doing application rates on this new product for 2024. I got a heavy rate and a standard rate and a heavy rate here. Out front on that Bermuda and mix out here, I've got the same thing. And then I did a strip over here on this sort of wild area. And then I also did a strip back over here, so just general testing on it, mainly trying to figure out the best application rates. I'll talk about that probably next month. We'll start to talk about it, but it's a really cool product. I've been wanting it for about a year and a half, and finally the laboratories at Anderson's got it right, and they sent me a sample bag of it, so I'm testing it. It's really cool. I don't want to sort of dangle it in front of you and then not tell you what it is, but I really can't say right now. Probably next month. Make sure you hit subscribe so you'll know about it. So let's talk about overseeding real quick. Why don't I like to overseed? I'll be honest, I think the main reason why I don't like to overseed really comes down to more of a psychological thing for me. You know, we spend, if you're like me, if you're kind of a lawn freak like me, we spend so much time. In the spring, we're busting our butt. In the summer, we're busting our butt. In the fall, we're busting our butt. And that break, that winter break, I think is really important to just sort of chill and just leave your lawn alone. Because what it does, it's kind of like if Christmas came every single month, Christmas wouldn't be that special. But since it's only once a year, it's kind of special. Even I still get excited about Christmas. Well, the same thing about spring lawn. If you're sitting there staring for a couple months at a brown lawn and it's kind of dull and boring, when springtime comes around, you're kind of pumped up for it. And I've always liked that break. That's probably my number one reason. Reason number two, I don't like the competition between a temporary annual type ryegrass mixed in with a sod lawn. There's going to be competition in the spring. Typically when you scalp it down and the temperatures start to rise, that annual rye or whatever you put down is going to basically die off, but still you're having that Bermuda and that other grass compete with each other. So I don't necessarily like that. Reason number three is winter weeds. If you have an actively growing lawn in the winter, you're going to be concerned about damaging it. If I have a dormant lawn in the wintertime, dude, I just go out and smoke any weed I see. I just smoke it. Pre-emergent, put it out heavy. Weed killer, put it out heavy. I just smoke because we have to deal with a lot of poana. And it's hard to deal with poana and figure out what's poana and what's the cool season grass. So those are my 3 basic reasons why I don't. I do not like to overseed. What do I do during the wintertime? There are 2 things that I want you to do during the wintertime. Number 1, check your pH, get a soil test, work on your pH, do your liming during the wintertime, and put down humichar, dump down carbon. Carbon, humichar takes a long time to work into the soil, guys, because we're top applying it. It's not like a garden where we're tilling it in. And even though it's micronized, it's gonna take time. So humichar during the wintertime and pH adjustments during the wintertime. And that's pretty much it. Turn on Netflix, light a fire, and chill. Man, we're finally starting to get some color here on the pond. It looks so nice. But we are dry again. I'm having to run the irrigation systems out here for the ponds and everything else. Doesn't it look nice? A little bit of color. Thank God it got a little bit of rain a couple weeks ago, so the color didn't totally die out. So what am I doing here? So I had John cut this. We were cutting on a level 3. I had him take it down to a level 2. I had some annual ryegrass left over, so I did an overseed. This is probably 70% Bermuda out here. And the reason why I am doing it here is this is fairly new open ground. And if all my Bermuda goes into dormancy and I have some real heavy rains, which are gonna come, I don't want my soil washing off down to my pond. So I want something here green all year round. So that's why I'm gonna throw out a little bit of something that's really cold hardy. I just have this feeling, I don't know about you, I just have this feeling that we're gonna have a pretty harsh winter. I think we're gonna get snow this year. I think it's gonna get cold. I just have that feeling. So here's one of my test zones out here. I gotta be careful when I'm cutting because I have to do it a special way. But what I do with my test zones is I do a 3x3, so I have basically 9 square feet. And then I have to go in and convert that into per 1,000 square foot and per acre. And that's how we do our application testing. While I love the fall and I love the cold weather, one of the only negative things about it is my vegetable garden can take 34, but when you start to get to 31 and 30, most of that stuff's gonna probably just freeze out. But if you didn't watch the subsoiler video, we ran a subsoiler through here and then we put 14,000 pounds of lime on these fields. Watch that, it's a cool video. But this vegetable garden, which has done really, really well for its first year, most of this stuff will probably freeze out. The peppers, I've got hundreds of green peppers and red peppers. I've got all these tomatoes. The radishes and the turnips over here should be okay, but I got green beans that'll get hit. I got cucumbers. It's kind of sad. I was hoping we'd stay at 34. 34 I can handle, but once you actually get to the frozen part, where basically what ends up happening is if those leaves freeze, the interior liquid turns and it punctures the cells. The icicles sort of puncture the cells, and that's what kills everything. So if you're at 33 or 34, your gardens can typically handle it, but beyond that, no. So basically the same thing out here is I'm actually putting out some Austrian winter peas. I'm putting out clovers. I'm putting a little bit of kale. I'm putting things that'll do really well on my winter overseed out here. And this is all set up for the wildlife and the deer. So I guess you could call this a little overseeding project. This is cereal rye. 150 pounds of cereal rye and 50 pounds of forage oats that I got to hop on, and I got to do those upper fields up here. I'm going to use the electric spreader. But UPS just pulled up, and I actually met them up in the field up here. So yeah, it's going to be another long afternoon for sure. This is what cereal rye looks like. It's not like normal ryegrass. It has a really, really rough seed to it. Man, that looks good, doesn't it? That just looks simply amazing right there. That's gorgeous. I gotta move my flags back. It's just ballpark. There's nothing exact out here. Just so I can sort of remember. This is the new 2024 McLean LC. This is the low cut series. Oh man, I'm really impressed. I've had this now for what, 4 weeks, and I've cut out here. I've cut this probably at least 8 times out here. Man, it really runs nice. So this time, now this will cut down to 3/16. Excuse me, 3/8. This will cut down to 3/8. So 3/8, don't forget, that's 1/4 of an inch plus 1/8. That's scalping height. I don't know many people that keep their lawn like that. It'll cut all the way up to somewhere around 1 3/4 inches. It's more like 1.5 inches, but 1 3/4 inches. But man, this time I got it with the Briggs and Stratton. Every other time on my McLeans, I've got them with Hondas. And I really like that XR. That XR series Professional is their top of the line engine in this size. And man, it's a beast. Now I've got 2 other Briggs. I've got one on my aerator and one on my tow behind. And I just love them. So in the description below, if you want to get one of these, I made a mistake. You don't have to use the code DOC at checkout. Just if you're going to order it online, just put a note in your order note that says DOC said I get a free grass catcher. Or if you call them up, just say, hey, DOC said I get a free grass catcher, and that's on the LC, the low cut series, 2024. Looks pretty nice, doesn't it? So I'm real happy with this. This is that perennial rye. And again, we'll see what happens. We'll see how this handles the cold. It should do okay in our region. I don't know if it'll last all winter, but I'll give you an example of another area that I am going to do an overseeding on. And that's this green space area. Matter of fact, I'm going to Lowe's right now, and I'm going to pick up another 50-pound bag or 40-pound bag of annual ryegrass. And we like to keep this area green. The one thing we don't want on our property is we do not allow raw dirt. So we always have roots in the ground. It's one of our rules here. So if we ever have to do something, we're going to put seeds right back on it. We always have roots in the ground. So I'm going to go run to Lowe's. I'm going to pick up some more annual ryegrass. I'll hook up the electric spreader again, and I'll go run it back here. But this, I'm real happy with this. Again, that new product for 2024, I'll update you guys. We got to finish doing all of our testing and everything on it before I really get into it. But anyway, I'll talk to you later. Doc, gotta go.